about now that the president has announced his tariffs. We don't.
So Trump's tariffs have not gone into place, and they're not going to go into place on February 1st. So Trump announced his intention to have tariffs, okay, which would be an additional 25% on imported goods from Canada and Mexico, and an additional 10% on Canadian imports. However, what we've seen regularly from Trump is that he will have a lot of bluster and then he just tries to use it as a negotiating tool. So, for example, this is literally a headline from today. Trudeau says Americans will pay more whenever Trump decides to impose tariffs on Canada, right? So he has said that he wants to impose an additional 25% tariffs, but he hasn't said when, and he just keeps threatening it. And then he keeps moving the goalpost with Canada in order to, in my opinion, negotiate better deals and then just kind of get attention too. And so like Trump literally said today, oh, well, Canada can avoid tariffs if they just choose to become a state of the United States. Right? But before he always said that it was about, illegal substances coming over the border. And now it's this, like, what? Another thing that's unclear is whether or not it will be certain categories that will be tariffed, like we currently have now with China. There's only like a handful of things that actually have tariffs on China, or if it will be across the board, everything from that country, which I highly, highly doubt. Again, this is exactly what Trump did during the first administration, and during his entire campaign, he started out at like saying he was going to have 65% tariffs on everything from every other country, and then slowly he's like backed it down. It's the first thing. It's exactly what he did during the first administration. Again, when he said he was going to have tariffs on everything from China, and then it ended up being only a handful of categories. However, if he did do an across-the-board tariff on Canadian goods, there are not a handful of things that would be more expensive. It literally would be everything, because we get nearly a quarter of our oil from Canada, right? And you would need that oil to power many of the things that we use to just have manufacturing and our homes here in the United States. So it wouldn't be like individual goods, it would be everything. Another reason that we know that Trump's tariffs are not going into place next Saturday on February 1st is because he ordered federal officials to review U.S. trade relationships for any unfair practices by the 1st of April. So like he has ordered this review, they would then send that to him in the beginning of April, and then theoretically he would review that, and then they would go forward. But again, I believe all of this is just him trying to get attention, distract us from other crazy shit that's going on, and look really tough on an international stage, right? Because so many of his supporters voted for him because he looked tough with other countries, but it really didn't amount to anything. And I think that's really what's happening here.